About a year ago, a German triathlete who is in dire need of a financial advisor went on Instagram and shared how much he spent on his 6-week training camp in Girona, Spain. His total for the 6 weeks came out to over 3,500 euros of accommodation, and then he also included 1,500 euros of the Girona experience. The total came out to 615 euros per week. I'm not saying that he overpaid, but he definitely overpaid. If you're new here, my name's Ernie. I'm a triathlete from the United States living in Spain, and this video is gonna break down how much that I spend in 1 week to live in Girona. Girona is one of the more expensive cities in Spain, mostly due to people gentrifying. I still think that people in the US will be pretty shocked when they hear how much I spend per week just to live in Girona.
I feel shocked.
I broke everything down into some different categories. So we have my rent, we have my food, and then we have my general well-being. The total weekly number it's gonna come out to is actually pretty reasonable. So let's get down to business. I do want to say that I'm a very frugal person, but in Girona, it does feel like I can live a really nice lifestyle and I can ball out real hard on a budget. I've got everything broken down into a handy spreadsheet that I'm going to share up on the screen, and let's go through it. So, weekly totals for basic living expenses like rent and phone and utilities. I spend around 127 euros per week on rent. My internet bill is 30 euros a month, so 7 euros and 50 cents per week. And my phone bill comes to 10 euros a month, which is around 2 euros and 50 cents a week. I also will say that we have fiber internet, so it's super fast sometimes. And then my phone is 50 gigabytes of data for just 10 euros a month, and it works in every single country, which is fantastic. Now let's get on to the fun part, the food, because I am an athlete, so I do have to eat a metric ass ton of food. On groceries, I'm spending around 87 euros a week. It definitely varies a little bit, but I do eat basically the exact same thing every single day, so I think it's pretty accurate there. Sometimes I will go out to eat. I do try to treat myself every now and then. I spend around 26 euros a week on going out to eat. This week in particular, I'm spending that much. So that's what we're using in there. We're just saying I'm on a hot streak on Tinder. So I'm going on, let's say, one Tinder date a week. We'll say that's 20 euros each. Pretty accurate estimate. I also try to go out for coffee a couple times a week just because I can afford to do it here. And I really couldn't afford to do it in the US. So I probably spend around 350 to 4 euros on going out to coffee a couple times a week with friends. This week it's a little bit more. I went out a couple more times. Yeah. Now let's get into the general well-being category. So this is my gym and my insurance. The gym here is around 48 euros a month, which is around 12 euros a week. I do sneak into the sauna, which ends up making it a little bit cheaper than if I paid for the membership that included the sauna. Shout out to all the lifeguards who don't care that I jump the fence. The next expense is health insurance, which I spend just under 26 euros a week on. I do get billed for this annually, so it's around 1,300 euros annually, and this covers everything. I needed an emergency surgery. It was completely covered by my private insurance. I paid nothing up front. It was fantastic. I had to go into the hospital every single day to have my wound cleaned, and that was completely covered too. My total euro expenditure for the week comes out to around 296 euros, which is a pretty great deal. This week, that's around 308 US dollars. I also made a table that shows the prices that I pay for some of the really common foods that I'm buying basically 2 or 3 times a week here at the grocery store. So we've got the rice, the bananas, eggs, muesli, basic human foods that you need to function. And you can see the prices there. And I know prices vary wildly across grocery stores in the United States, but have a look at these prices, compare them to what you're paying at the grocery store in the US. And I think you'll find that the European grocery store is incredibly affordable and really high quality food. The amount of food that is available with a very low ingredient count is awesome, and it's very fairly priced. I think the cost of food is very important to analyze if you're an athlete because our dollar to calorie ratio is really important, and I find that I can get an excellent dollar to calorie ratio here in Europe compared to what I was getting in the United States. I also want to highlight one category that's missing here, and that's automobile expense. And in Europe, specifically here in Girona, I don't need a car to get around town, which saves a massive expense. That's it for the video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.